Jump Force's create a character system was so close. It was almost there. It could have been the chosen one, and it had the right idea for the most part. There is a ton of different clothing options and variety of hairstyles, but there is one big important thing missing. Who can tell me what it is? It is a damn color slider. What makes the Soul Calibur creator character system industry leading is not the variety of armor types or clothing, because in actuality there isn't a whole lot of variety in that department. It actually comes from the color slider. Being able to adjust different areas of different pieces of clothing and armor allows you to manipulate the effect of said armor. Something that used to look like a medieval armor, you can make look like a pretty modern design, just based on color alone. You can make something like this look like something like this. Previously you saw a random medieval dude, and now you see Trunks from Dragon Ball. But with this system that we have in Jump Force, it's impossible to make characters accurately unless that exact character's clothing is in the game, with slight exceptions. But with the color slider that we have access to in Soul Calibur, we're able to create pretty much any character. Look, on day one, I'm not even a Soul Calibur player. I never made a Soul Calibur character before day one of Soul Calibur 6. I made All Might, Ruby Rose, and Sarada. Now, All Might was certainly trash, and I've seen much better All Might since then, and Sarada definitely could have used some work. But the fact that I was able to make Sarada actually in Soul Calibur 6 rather than in Jump Force, the game that actually has Boruto as a license, is insane. And I need this to be very clear before I continue. I was the biggest defender of the creator character system because I saw the potential in avatars. Yes, they are and always were going to be broken. A character that can modify its moveset is always going to be stronger than the other characters that can't. A character creator system that allows you to modify the moveset is inherently going to be stronger than every other character. The reason I defended the avatar system is because in theory it should allow you to be able to create characters who didn't make it, or even characters outside of Weekly Shonen Jump, or even anime as a whole. And don't get me wrong, there are certainly a few characters that can be made very accurately inside of Jump Force. Rock Lee, for example, Hinata, a lot of the Naruto characters really because of the vest that Kakashi has. But that's exactly my point. After experimenting so much with the Jump Force avatar system, I can firmly say it sucks. And it hurts me to say it because there's so much potential in a creator character system, but it's just not good. God, I wanted it to be good. Jump Force's creator character system is so bad, I thought about reinstalling Soul Calibur 6 just to have fun with the creator character system, and I don't like Soul Calibur 6. That game is not for me. But the most annoying thing about all of this for me isn't that we ended up with a bad creator character system. That's whatever, I don't really care at the end of the day. The problem for me is that the color slider would have made the difference. Without a color slider that can modify specific parts of clothing separately, this is an average creator character system. But with it, Jump Force's creator character system would have been industry leading. I can't say mark my words because it's not a prediction, it's too late. They're not going to add a color slider, or at least I highly doubt it. Now this video was supposed to just be about the cosmetic aspect of creator characters, but while we're here and while I'm heated, let's talk about balance as well. What the heck happened? Again, already creator characters are incredibly powerful by virtue of existing. Personally, I think there's a lot Spike Chunsoft could have done to the creator character system or the avatar system to make them fair enough for ranked gameplay. Mortal Kombat 11, for example, uses a preset system. Despite the game having a ton of special moves for each character, you can only use a predetermined combination of 2 to 3 of them. A similar system could work just fine in Jump Force. Allow people to use their creator character online, but if they do so, they have to use a predetermined loadout. It could even be based on certain themes, like a lightning theme, like Lightning Bomb, Chidori, Lightning Triplet, and Godspeed, and of course none of the amplifiers should work on any of this. Or you could do the Soul Calibur route, which I actually quite like. If you play a creator character in ranked, you have to use a character template. I think I would have actually preferred this because it would allow us to use swords on our CACs. So for example, you would queue up, you would select your creator character, and then you would select what character you are copying. So for example, you could select Ichigo's moveset or Boruto's moveset, and of course it would lock those characters so you couldn't effectively have 2 Ichigos or something. Oh, and while we're venting, can we talk about the height scaler? Even the shortest option is adult sized. And I recognize it's difficult because you have to like remodel all of the things. Like, so for example, if you have a much shorter character, it can't just have the same jacket on. It needs to be able to move with the character. So I do understand it, but with all of these problems on top of each other, I just felt like venting. All right, rant over. I don't normally do videos like this because I think there's a lot of negativity directed at game developers and game companies that is often unjustified. But in this case, I feel like the only reason the color slider doesn't exist in the way that it could is because what they wanted to do is implement a currency system in the game so that you have to run around and buy different colored items. You can see that in the in-game shop, and while it's not a microtransaction thing, the idea is it's meant to give you a type of RPG feel, a progression, something to keep you playing the game. And I understand that, but there are far better ways to do that than severely limiting the create a character system. At the end of the day, while I am sitting here and I'm complaining, all that I wanted was for this system to get more development time, to allow the system to have things like a color slider, or even a better weight and height scale. But hey, that's just my take. I know a lot of people would have liked the system to be completely removed, but I think that's the wrong attitude to go about it. I think it should have been given more time, and yeah, maybe we would have lost something like a stage or even a character, but if that means we have a much better robust create a character system that allows us to create a wider variety of characters, I would much prefer that. I hope you enjoyed this out of character, non-canon video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.